Look, the last video that I posted on the January 7th incident on South Minneapolis set off a total firestorm in the comments. And honestly, that reaction matters because it shows that this situation has shifted since the last time I posted. And we have to confront this directly because we aren't just arguing about a shooting anymore. We are actually watching two completely different realities being built in real time. On one side, you have the early framing from local leaders in those first bystander clips that went viral.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning. Just so you do the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking country. You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy.
In that version, you see a 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good as a mother and a legal observer who was simply trying to leave a chaotic scene when she was shot through her window, right? But then this new video drops, and then this footage is from the perspective of the ICE agent himself, Jonathan Ross, and it has split the conversation in half. Now, when you watch that video, you can hear exactly what people are arguing about in the comments, right? You hear Renee's wife, Rebecca, shouting at the ICE agents, and then you hear her yell, "Drive, drive," right before the car moves. In that split second, the federal line is that Renee weaponized her car, that she clipped Agent Ross and forced him to fire in self-defense. The president and Secretary Noem have gone even further than that. They labeled this domestic terrorism. They called her a high-level agitator before any independent investigation has even been completed.
Why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect the security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April, but I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland, and that's what's going to happen if we don't.
But this is where the logic breaks for a lot of people, because even if the car did make contact, does it automatically justify 3 or 4 shots at point-blank range in the driver's side window, especially when other angles appear to show her steering away from the agents as she accelerated, not directly into them? And then there's the aftermath, right? In that same clip, after the shots were fired, you can hear a voice reported to be Agent Ross's, right, calling Renee a fucking bitch as her car crashes away. Does that sound like a measured survival response? Or does it sound like someone who just lost their temper and fired in anger? This is exactly why the investigation has turned into a battle between institutions. The FBI has taken sole control and has effectively boxed the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension out of the room. There's no access to the car. There's no evidence. There's no interviews. Nothing that would allow truly independent state-level review. Governor Walz is now openly warning the public about what they call federal propaganda machine, right? Think about that. When the federal government blocks a state's own investigators from a killing that happened in their own city, the question becomes obvious, right? What are they afraid we'll see if everyone has the same evidence? Look, strength is not about winning a PR war on cable news or in a YouTube comment section. Strength is having enough confidence in the truth to let independent investigators follow the facts, even if they make powerful people uncomfortable. So, if this was such a clear-cut case of self-defense, why freeze out the BCA? Why rush to brand the dead citizen a domestic terrorist while the family is still trying to identify the body? The video may have captured a moment of non-compliance, but the real question is whether that moment justified a death sentence carried out in the street. Because in a democracy, your life is not supposed to depend on whether a federal agent decides in that moment that his power is absolute.